You wouldn't be with me if I was broke.
I don't want no scrub.
We might have to license that record. Hey, I'm Wayne.
And I'm Daniela, and this is Housewife.
Alright, today we're talking about finances. What is the relationship, what is the importance of finance to you two?
It's important.
You wouldn't be with me if I was broke.
I don't want no scrub.
We might have to license that record after you just
Oh
did that.
shit! You can't do that.
I don't know. Well, we're going to find out.
Fuck.
The,
Well, I don't want my singing voice out there anyway.
the importance of finances.
It's important, I would say. I feel like it's one of the number one reasons marriages and serious relationships don't work out. Do you agree with that statement?
I think it's the number one reason for
Over infidelity?
separation. Over infidelity is money
Money's
problems.
big. Money's a big one, I feel like.
I mean, is that at the top of your list when you're looking for a partner?
I think security is a big one, yeah. But I feel like I know me, and I know what if I was by myself, that's a big thing for me. Like that's like number one on my list. So I feel like if I'm looking for a partner, I feel like I need to be up there. I feel like that person's got to be responsible in his, maybe not necessarily rich. Like it's not that I would need them to be rich, but I would need them to be responsible. Like your bills need to be paid on time, like no debt. That's big for me. What are you laughing at?
No, I'm laughing because you wouldn't find a broke boy, fall in love with him, take care of him, and bring him up.
I would, okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, but
So
no.
I feel like
No. I feel like you gotta want to get brought up.
I didn't ask you that. Would you date a broke guy with hopes for you to bring him up? Or does that person have to have it all together already?
No, they don't have to have it all together, but they have to have some ambition. That's what I'm saying. They don't have to, from the beginning, be the richest person, but they have to want to have ambition, I feel like, to get somewhere.
Ambition can't pay the bills.
No, it can't. I mean, now I feel okay. Different in your 20s. I feel like if you're asking me today, the place where I'm at in my life, no, you have to have shit together.
For all you dudes out there, ambition does not fucking pay the bills. And it doesn't provide security
Right.
for any person, place, or thing. The reality of it is, I think money is a strong factor in a healthy relationship because no one wants to have that added stress of worrying about
How are we paying things? How are we paying for food? How are we paying for rent? How are we paying for a mortgage? How are we paying for anything? You're thinking of those, and let alone now we can't even have money to enjoy life or do fun things.
Yeah.
If I'm leaving you and I'm remarrying, I'm marrying for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Because security should be first.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm saying I'm lucky enough to have found love in you, and we're financially okay, we're good. But I'm saying, like, second time around, it's money.
Third time around.
Third time around. Why?
Oh, yeah, second time around.
Second time around. I was married
Goofies
before.
don't count.
Yeah, but the shit does not count. That was like baby shit.
Okay. Finances for us
Are good.
we made the collective choice of
Me not having to work.
Daniela not having to work because I'm fortunate enough to be in a position that I'm in to where we can make that happen. Does, for the other women that are out there, do you feel, I know this is a very interesting question that maybe we can answer for people. How does being an accomplished woman with a degree and a career,
How does it feel to stay
how does it
home?
feel to put that aside and rely on your partner for financial stability, with it being out of your control, one, two, without having per se your own money?
Right, okay, that's a good question because I feel like it can be very hard. I feel like to be used to being independent, making your own money, like you said, have a career, because I do have a career or I am educated. I feel like the first thing you think about when you stay home is, what are people gonna say, or what are people gonna, I feel like people always have like a judgment, like, oh, she doesn't have anything going on for herself. Oh, she's not educated, or she's a gold digger, like just living off her man or what her man does for her. What, you know what I'm saying? I feel like society. That's the first thing you got to deal with, like the
Wow.
judgments of what people are saying about you. But
I
they
didn't-
don't even
I
know your
didn't-
life, or they don't know who you are, and they don't know that you are educated, you can make your own money. This is a choice. That's number one.
I
You didn't think of
had
that.
no idea
The
that
pressures
was,
of that.
that societal pressures would be number one on your list of
Yeah, you're
why
worried
you
about
would
what
be
people are
worried.
saying. Yeah, you're worried about, like, it's like proving a point, like,
You're worried about losing your skills.
funny. I feel like you're worried about what people are going to say about you, right? That's one pressure, I feel like. Then I feel like it also is a choice that you have to, when you're making it, you have to think about who your partner is, because I feel like money gives control.
That
So
was where I was leading to.
basically,
But
so
hold on,
is
hold
my
on.
man going to be able to control me because I'm not bringing in any income? I feel like that's a big thing. So I feel like if I had a partner that is going to control every aspect of me with the money,
I need
I'm
to stay
going to
at
want,
work.
I got to go to work. I cannot stay at home because now this person has the ultimate control of me. Like, you can't do anything, anything you want to buy, anything.
Side note, side note, side note, side note. If you're the man in the relationship and you're taking care of 90% of the bills, or taking care of 100% of the financials in the household, that does not give you the means to belittle your
Right.
woman. You are a complete sucker
If you're belittling a woman for
if
something
you're
that you
doing
both
that.
chose to, you're
No,
asking
no.
her to stay
Even
home.
if you both didn't choose it, if you actually put it out there to say, I'm going to do this and this and this for you, that does not give you the means
Right.
to turn around and throw it in anybody's face.
Right.
You are complete and absolute sucker in my book if you're doing that. That is just, you have a little dick.
Basically, like, that's the only thing you have, basically. You're using money to control your girl.
That's corny, that's whack, it's not code. That's
So I
just
feel
not how
like that
you,
would be
how
number
you
2
operate.
in me thinking about, okay, am I going to stay home? Like, do I want to stay home? How is me not bringing in income gonna, like, the dynamic of me? Like, where does that put me in the relationship? So that's one thing I had to consider. I had to consider you. Like, how are you? Who are you as a person? Are you going to throw that in my face every time that, like, just, oh, you don't contribute to anything? Because just because you're not working does not mean you contribute to a lot. I feel like running a
Hold on.
household,
You contribute to a lot.
I do.
There are, however,
True.
women who do sit in the house,
And do nothing all day.
take, no responsibility or no action upon themselves, still don't contribute financially, but still don't contribute
In other ways.
in other ways to, like, even balance the playing field, right? I think there's women out there who just are housewives that don't even have anything to offer or have characteristics that can somewhat even out to everything that the man may be doing if he's handling everything financially. So I
Agreed.
think on your specific behalf, there is a scroll full of qualities that probably outweigh all the financial stability that I provide.
I agree with that. I
Right?
agree with that. Like I said, I know what I bring into this relationship. I know that yes, while money is not everything, but
It's not the number one.
it's not the number. It is, but it's not. It is because you need it to survive. You need it for like the main things in life. But I feel
Yeah,
like
but like when we
what
break it down to necessities, all you really need is food,
shelter.
shelter, and clothes. And if you're type of person who can live within your means, money's
Right.
minimal, right? But the real value that someone can bring to a relationship, doesn't get chalked up to money,
I agree.
right?
Right. So anyway, so societal pressures, then basically it being used against you are two things I would consider before deciding if I wanted to give up my career and all this other stuff to stay home. The third one I would consider is, I think, a child. Like if you have a child versus no child. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm giving up the career basically to be there for my child, to raise my child, to
And raising a child is the most important work that you can do out here for any other man or company or service or any of that. Like, I think people undermine the value
of that.
in actually being one on one with your child day in and day out.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're with your child day in and day out, that child grows up with what you instilled in them, the things that you put in them, as opposed to, I know, some people don't have a choice and they have to put their child in daycare, different story, but I feel like you're missing out on somebody else is raising your kid, somebody else is putting,
I always say this: you can buy your kid the newest helmet, the newest bat, the newest cleats, and the newest jersey. They want you to be at the game.
right.
So
They want your presence more
you
than
could have
anything.
bought all that, with money and said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, you're gonna be good. You're at the, you go to the game." And really, they're just gonna be looking in the stands for your presence,
Right.
right?
So do you think that like we feel that things are easy for us because our finances, like do you think that that makes our relationship easier because our financials are
One
good?
1,000%. If our finances weren't under control, the pressures of that would trickle over into every other
life,
little
right.
thing that we do.
Right. Every little other thing would become bigger. Like you might annoy me more.
Would 1,000%, 1,000%. I told them in another episode, you got to be elite this way. Everything else just comes easy.
Easier, yeah.
Because had we, like we said, the first thing, the highest rate of breakups happens over monetary issues.
Right. I feel like even if two people are making great money, I feel like if your spending habits are one thing and my goals or my my habits are different. Like maybe I'm more, I want to save, or I'm thinking more of a future, and he might be more, let's buy the latest car, the latest this. Like, we both might be making great money, but we're not on the same page. Like, so I feel that would throw us into just like we'd be arguing more. Like you're spending too much. I'm trying to build something.
Yeah, I think
I feel like being on the same page is just as important as who's making this and who's making that.
absolutely, because if I was providing all the money to a relationship and the other person's just blowing it all,
It would piss
and
you
I
off.
can't get ahead,
Right.
yeah,
Because you're
it would be
basically
stressful.
you're working to sustain this person's habits, and it's like they're not.
Yes,
So I
yes.
feel like goals
So
are very important too, because whether I'm working or not, again, like you said, okay, say I'm not working and I'm over here spending like without a care, and that's not what the type of time that you're on, that's going to cause a problem.
that's not the type of time I want. Where'd you learn that?
What?
Where'd you learn type of time?
Type of time? Is that the time that you're on? Like me spend, like I said, there's a very fine line with. I just feel like money's very like a touchy subject for a lot of people. So I feel like
Okay, can we lay it out plain for them how our
stuff
situation
works.
works? So, do you believe in joint accounts?
Yeah.
Eh.
Why not?
Because I just don't think it's necessary.
I have access to accounts. I have your credit cards.
Right,
What do you mean?
right. Okay, so the way our stuff works is that, yeah, she has a credit card. She can spend whatever she wants. But I say that knowing
He knows me.
that
He
we're
knows I
on the
have
same
consideration.
page.
Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's paying for everything. Like
So let me just
let
run
me
it
just
up.
run this up and spend every chance. Like I have consideration. I understand too. Like
Yeah.
I don't ask. If I want something, I'm gonna
She
get
knows
it.
the
Like,
base
and I
of
know
where
he's
we're-
not gonna make me feel like this big about if I like
wanted anything.
right, or he's not gonna come at me the moment he gets mad at me and be like, "You." That's not a thing. Like I know I can spend how I want, but I feel like he also knows I'm considerate and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that we
We have a balance.
operate off of one another also. So she leads the way with the way that she wants the house, and I follow suit. I lead the way with the way that I operate with the finances, and she follows suit. So it's like we're never overriding each other in either one of each other's departments, if that makes sense. Right? So like I have this department under control. You come in and you just, you make sure the shelves look exactly how you keep the shelves how I want it in this department. And then in your department, I make sure that I follow suit because you have
This under control.
You have that under control. And that's the beauty of like being on the same page, right? But a big part of why people
It
have
becomes
money
an issue.
issues
You're not on the same
is
page.
because your goals and habits are not on the
same
page.
Everybody's doing their own thing, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a lot of marriages and couples that you get a paycheck, I get a paycheck, and we just do our own thing. Like we're not even.
Yeah, we're not thinking with one brain.
We're not thinking with one.
But I have to say, I don't think, not that you don't have goals, but we hardly ever talk about, like, goal setting, or we never talk about what our financial plan looks like in the future for us. I think you just have a trust in me that
I was just
never,
gonna say, but that falls into having you knowing the other person, and it's like, okay, they got us on that. Not to say that I can't, like, if something went wrong or whatever, like, I wouldn't pick up the slack.
Okay, so that goes to this next question. So if for some reason I lost everything I had,
I would do what I would have to do. Like,
oh, we actually have a real life experience. So I didn't lose everything, but I got to a point where I needed a little bit of help. And 5 years after not working,
I went back, not that I had to, but I went back to work.
Daniela strapped up her
Scrubs.
I was about to say faja. Daniela put on her non-slip shoes
And went
and
back to work.
her scrubs, and went back to work as the registered nurse that she is, and brought it home to help when help was needed.
Right.
And that just gave me a sense of security, knowing that even when things aren't
Perfect
rainbows and
or the best
butterflies,
of times.
yeah, I still have a partner that is really for this team that we've built, right? So when I think I have everything under control, even the days that it might rain and I don't, I have a partner that has my back financially as well.
Right, and I think that's important. I feel like that's what I'm saying. It's the balance of just knowing your person and knowing that they're not gonna use money against you, or that they're feeling too comfortable to be like, wait a minute, I've been living this life for a certain amount of years, and now you want me to go back to work? Like, I'm not doing anything. No, I feel like that's not. It's basically like, so you're comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing that you can, if something, like you said, if something starts to go a certain way, knowing your partner is like, I got you. If things aren't going too well, like, I'll put the work in.
Your partner's with the shits.
Yeah, basically, like,
I'm still so caught up on the fact that the number one thing for you is with society.
I think society puts a lot of pressure on us. Like, I think that the term
When you
housewife
say
too has like a
us,
on women. I feel like it puts a very, like, we're, being equal to men, or we can do, because we can do a lot of great things. And I think that a lot of us can be a boss in the work environment, and we have that potential to be that. And I feel like that pressure gets put on us so much that if it's like, if you stay home or you choose to stay home to take care of your family or your child, it's almost like she's not, like, not nothing, but kind
she's
of
useless.
she's useless. Like, you want to marry a woman like that, or you want to, and it's not that. You have all the potential to be all of that.
I have to touch on this because we mentioned it before. Can you name some of the invaluable traits that you bring into the house that someone couldn't pay for? So, like, yeah, I handle all the bills and that's cool and all, but what does a woman,
Bring to a
what can
house
a woman bring to the table to say, hey, listen, I'm doing my part too? Just because you pay everything,
doesn't mean that,
motherfucker,
right?
doesn't mean that I don't bring X, Y, Z. What are those things for the women out there?
For the women, I feel like, okay, you make a house feel like a home. Your house is literally like a hotel. There's nothing ever dirty in this house.
Ever.
You can't ever say that you have no socks.
Ever.
You have no underwear that's dirty. Like, shit's done. There's food. You got, like, restaurant cooking, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your kid is being raised by you. She's never dirty. She's never not fed. She's never looking a mess. I just feel like the child thing is the biggest thing. Like,
Huge.
you have a kid who's being basically not being left to, your kid's being taken care of. I feel like that's, to me, is the biggest thing.
The biggest one. I'm just saying that because in the reverse, it's like all these girls, not all, but a lot of girls want this. They're seeking out financial.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. I feel like a lot of people look at, like, oh, you're just cooking, you're being a house, like, basically maid. No, you're kind of not, though, because
No, you're absolutely not.
I'm not a maid, or I'm not
it's called quality of life.
Yeah, like, I feel like you don't want to live in a clean home. You don't want to, like, if you're not bringing in with the finances, like, your house should be in top shape, basically, I feel like.
So what I was
Because
saying
I feel like that's just as equally as priceless as bringing money in.
Absolutely. A lot of women sought after a guy who can bring them this financial stability, and then they come in the house and they bring nothing to the table.
Right.
Is why I'm asking you, what characteristics you bring to the table, but also
And
it's
I'm not a maid
me.
because I do anything I want throughout the day too. So I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Society can make it look like it's such a what's the word, like
Derogatory?
yeah, a meaning on housewife. It's not at all.
Like it has a negative
it has a
connotation.
negative, yeah.
Let me tell you right now, the fact that my wife is so hospitable, it makes my life 100 times better that I don't have to worry about these little things that can become overwhelming or tedious in the house. I mean, if both people weren't washing laundry or, those things add up at the end of the day.
You would need a maid to come in and do all that shit, basically, if
you
you're
need
both
money.
working. Or I'm tired, you're tired, we both worked. Like, you do that, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it becomes that.
It becomes an issue. Yeah. So
Like, I'm working and now you want me to do laundry too and cook? What about you? What are you doing?
damn.
I'm just saying, that's how it goes.
Okay, so
Because they expect the woman to work and do all the stuff around the house. Like, the man doesn't want to do shit around the house. For the most part, most men, you do a lot. But
yeah,
I'm
we're
saying,
talking to majorities here
Yeah.
because it's not the same case for everybody.
no.
Okay, so for us overall, money has never been an issue for us because
Because you make it, you're responsible, and I could make it too if we needed it.
and you're very responsible.
And I'm very responsible too.
But
So,
we share
common goal.
a lot of the same monetary principles.
Right.
We both live within our means. So that means if we're making 1,000, we know how to save 30% of it, roughly, and live with 70. We both like nice things, but it won't make or break either one of us.
Right. We're not chasing after like the latest
Right.
of everything.
Right. I mean,
Doesn't mean we don't like nice things.
no.
We like nice things.
Yeah, for sure. But I think we hold the same head as to what it means to us to have nice things. Like, for instance, when I buy you nice things, you don't trash it and then expect another one a week later.
Right.
Like, those are things that you savor and you keep and you know. So we just hold a lot of the same principles when it comes to money. So if you're not on the same page
I think
with
that's the biggest thing.
if you're not on
Being
the same page, right?
Yeah. If you
Because
are
you
not
guys could be-
aligning, that's
because
what
you
I
guys
said.
could
Two
be
people can
making-
making this crazy amounts of
No, but they could be making little, is what I'm trying to say. Two people could be making little to no money.
and be living great, and then you have two people that are making crazy amounts of money, and for some reason they're just always broke.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
then you get to
value and
those-
where you put.
And greed, and you get to those higher levels, and,
You want
and
more
women
and
are just
more.
divorcing just to get half of whatever that magic number is. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, there's another family who's rubbing
Making
pennies
it work.
together, but they're happy as ever because they're on the same page.
And they're making it work.
Simple as that. So for us, I mean, what's your last piece of advice? I mean, from a male perspective, for the provider of my family, I feel like, yes, if I can provide a life for my wife to make it easier on her to not have to worry about the stresses of making money and whatever the world pressures for her to make money, I will provide that. That's one. Two, never throw it in her face ever, because that's sucker shit. Three is making sure that she understands exactly what I make, what I had to do to make it, so she understands the concept of
Not taking advantage.
right, and then how it gets dispersed. So being on the same page with me, like, okay, I
This is
make
what I'm
this, but I'm
doing.
saving this, and this is going to this, and this is going to this, and this is what we have at the end of the month, or this is, this is our budget to operate, you
And
know?
then I feel like for a woman, the
That's
biggest
in your
advice I
shoes.
could give is, like I said, just forget society and what they think, because I feel like don't allow that to be a reason why you decide to stay home or not home or work. I think the biggest focus is focus on who your partner is and how they're going to make you feel like if you're not working. I think that would be the biggest deciding factor. Like if you know that they're going to try to control you and or try to make you feel shitty for things, I wouldn't recommend doing it. I say only do that if you know the person is never gonna that's never gonna be a thing.
You can never say never. Do you ever feel scared that like you need to have a safety net just in case something goes wrong with us?
Not really, because I feel like we've talked about our future and like what would happen. I feel like we've had those conversations. That's what I'm saying. I think it's just all about having a conversation. Have the conversation. That's it. Simple. Talk about it.